A removable divider is a panel that can be inserted in the middle of the cage to split the space into two parts. To install a removable divider, you will install tracks in the top and bottom of the cage for the divider to slide in and out on. It is a lot easier to install the bottom rack for the divider when the cage is setting on its top, so you should do this during the cage assembly before flipping the cage upright and stacking it onto the stand. The parts are slightly different if you have a pull-out floor in the cage, and it is better to install the bottom track of the removable divider before installing the parts of the pull-out floor that are attached to the cage frame. You will need the upper and lower CDT tracks with hardware. If your cage has a pull-out floor or tray, the CDT lower track with the CDS bar and hardware pre-assembled. The pre-assembled removable divider panel. And a Phillips head screwdriver. The first task is to decide where in the cage you want the removable divider to be. The only limitation is that the divider cannot be installed directly behind the aluminum frames of the door panels. Open the doors to the left or right and choose where the divider will be inserted. For a cage with a pull-out floor or tray, the ends of the CDT bar will set into the channels of the bottom frame of the cage. Position the ends of the track where you want them to be. The flange of the T-nuts should be on the outside of the channel. Make sure the track is straight before tightening the screws with the screwdriver. Once the bottom track of the removable divider is in place on a cage with a pull-out floor or tray, you can stop installing the divider until the rest of the cage is assembled. If you have a pull-out tray or floor, jump to the next video, H3009 pull-out tray floor assembly, and install the portions of that accessory that are attached to the bottom of the cage. If the cage does not have a pull-out floor or tray, you will install the track directly onto the wire mesh of the floor of the cage. Remove all the bolts and washers and wing nuts from the track, then reinsert a bolt at one end of the track and install one washer. While holding the bolt and the bottom washer in place, insert the thread end of the bolt through the wire mesh from inside the cage where you want the track to set. Replace the top washer so that it is outside the cage and the wire mesh is between the two washers. Thread the wing nut back under the bolt and tighten it a few turns. Remove the wing nut and top washer from the other end of the track and repeat the process of installing that into the track onto the wire mesh. Make sure the track is straight. Use the wire mesh as a guide. Once both of the washer sets are in place, tighten the nuts completely. If you do not have a pull-out tray or floor, you can now flip the cage over onto its bottom and install the top track for the removable divider. Insert the divider into the cage along the bottom track and hold the divider vertical to determine the correct location for the top track. The installation steps for the top track are the same as for the bottom track. After tightening the wing nuts completely, test the alignment of the tracks by sliding the divider in and out of the cage on the tracks. If the divider is not vertical, adjust the position of the top track. Remove the divider and set it aside until the cage is finished. Otherwise, it will slide around when moving the enclosure and could damage the cage.